Hey DreamChasers, it's Jacey, and today I want to answer a very important question that happens to be the title of this video, and that question is, why do bad artists have so many followers? And the answer is actually very simple. Because they're not assholes and they're better at marketing than you, you insecure, jealous piece of shit. Okay, so that's the short answer, but let's break it down a little bit further because I need that watch time, you feel me? But real quick before that, I wanted to let you guys know that I have some new merch. If you guys want to check the link in the description, you can get your very own Chase Your Effin' Dreams t-shirt. I forgot to mention this while I was recording, so future JC editing here. And I just wanted to let you know that you can also win a free Chase Your Effin' Dreams t-shirt by signing up for my mailing list. Just go to bit.ly/jcmail. There's a link in the description for that as well. Sign up before June 15th, 2019 for a chance to win. So today I was reminded of this trend where someone will find an artist who has some level of success and they'll kind of pick them apart and make fun of them and call them names and, question how could they possibly have so many followers when their art sucks and my art's better than that and this isn't fair. And I'm not even gonna name anyone in this video because honestly, it doesn't matter. This topic comes up so often that I could post this video any time of year and it could be relevant to someone. So there are a few things wrong with this perspective. The glaringly obvious one is that it's just not cool. As much as I'd love to say though that nothing is ever gained by being a jerk and it's not gonna do any favors, I think this platform is kind of proof that that isn't true. There are a lot of people who make a living off of being jerks and making fun of people and unfortunately that does get attention and views, but luckily there are also lots of communities that are built around being decent and kind and uplifting people. Which brings me to my first point. One of the major reasons that someone might have a lot of followers is because they're a nice person and people genuinely like them as human beings. Sometimes people follow someone because they genuinely enjoy their personality and like being around them. Shocking, I know. Some people have this idea that the only reason to follow an artist is because they're at the top of their field and they have decades of experience and they're just really amazingly skilled. And honestly, that's a great reason to follow someone. I get inspired all the time by artists who are just really, really good and on top of their game, and it pushes me to be a better artist and to hone my skills, and I really enjoy seeing their work. And that is a great reason to follow someone. But it's not the only reason to follow someone. But I follow all kinds of people for all kinds of reasons, including artists, musicians, poets, actors, comedians, friends of mine, and I follow them for a lot of reasons. They bring all kinds of things to the table. Sometimes I really like their insight on, social issues, or I like their goofy dad puns, or, I just like the stuff they have to say or the things that they share for whatever reason. It's not 100% because they are the best at what they do, it's because I enjoy them. Social media is social, and I want my social circle to be full of people who I find uplifting and fun to be around, or intelligent, just cool, kind, interesting people. Another reason someone might follow an artist that you think isn't that good is because they actually do think they're that good. They actually do like their art. Believe it or not, taste is subjective, and what you think isn't that good, someone else thinks is good. And you don't have a right to tell someone else they're wrong on that. They might not like that person's art because they have so much technical skill. They might like their art because it makes them feel a certain way, or they find it pretty, or it makes them happy, or it sparks their curiosity or creativity. There's so many things to like about art, and it's so subjective that you can't just make a blanket statement that art is good or bad. And everybody likes different types of art. You don't like anime art? That's fine. You don't like abstract stuff? Cool. Keep scrolling, find stuff you do like. You can't really put someone down because they make something that isn't your bag. But even if you do like the genre or the style of someone's art, you just don't like the way they do it, that's really a you problem, not a them problem. People tend to like art that makes them feel something, that they connect with. And just because you don't like their technical skills or you don't think they're very good, that doesn't mean that people don't find value in it. That doesn't mean that there's not something there that makes people feel something, whether it's the mood or their sense of humor or the colors they use, whatever it is. People clearly have a connection with it. And just because you don't, that doesn't mean that it's bad. And sometimes people follow someone because not necessarily they're the best artist, but they see something there. They see potential and they're like, I want to see where this artist goes. I want to see this journey for them. That's exciting. I've followed some artists for like 15, 20 years, like Loish and Julie Dillon, and I really liked their art back then, but I've been really excited to see how they've grown and changed as artists. And that's the kind of stuff that, you get to know over years of following someone. So it's not realistic to just expect everybody to be amazing and perfect. Part of the fun, I think, of following artists on social media is to really follow them and follow their journey. But I think if you're stuck in this place where the only art that's enjoyable, it has to be flawless and have no technical errors, I think that's just a really dull way to look at the world and not very fulfilling. And at a certain point, your tastes and your ability to notice mistakes, it's always going to get better to the point where nothing is going to be good enough for you. And that just sounds empty to me. I feel like I want to find a lot more than that in art. And I think one of the biggest reasons, honestly, that a lot of people who are, quote, bad artists have a following is because they're good at marketing. And there's this idea in a lot of art communities that marketing is a dirty word, and that anybody who isn't spending 100% of their time trying to improve their skills and focus on just the art, and if they're worried about likes, they're a poser or a monster or self-absorbed, and that's just ridiculous. First of all, human beings are social creatures, so the need for validation is actually very normal and human, and there's nothing wrong with wanting to connect with people, and that's part of what sharing your work online is about, is connecting with people. And some goals are easier to achieve if you have an audience. And granted, not every artist is trying to get a job in art or build a community or has some big art goal. And some people make art because they enjoy sharpening that skill, and it's a discipline, and it's something that they really enjoy improving, and they don't really enjoy the marketing part. They might not necessarily enjoy getting a job in art, and that's totally fine. But if your goals revolve around selling prints or getting noticed and getting a job, you are gonna do better if more people know about your art. And the way to do that is to market yourself. It's not realistic to act like only the best artwork is gonna rise to the top and get seen, because part of how it gets seen is through marketing, is through spreading the word and being out there. And that is a skill in and of itself. And it's not shameful to develop that skill along with your art skills. If you spend 100% of your time improving your art and your technique and 0% of your time on interpersonal skills and marketing skills, then you're gonna make amazing art that never gets seen by anyone. You can apply for jobs and try to get opportunities without really building a presence, and that's fine, but you're competing against countless other really skilled artists. So at a certain point, your personality and your social media presence and all those things are gonna be a factor in your success. This isn't to say that everybody who has a big social media following is like this marketing expert and they did all this research, or that's their focus. Some people are just naturally very good at it. Just like you can be naturally very good at art and improve that skill, you can be naturally good at marketing and improve that skill. So a lot of the conventional wisdom around marketing your art is to tell a story and to be authentic. And so some people are really good at that. They're good at sharing their work in a way that, people connect with them and their process and their journey. And generally speaking, just sharing your finished work and being like, this is a drawing I did, versus talking about what this means to you and, your personal experiences that led you to be inspired to make this, or, kind of your process and the things that you struggled with. All those kinds of things that are human and tell the story of your art, that's the stuff people connect to, and that's a big part of marketing. You can't be afraid to be vulnerable or interesting or human. And some people are just naturally good at that. They're naturally good at that connection, and that's part of why they have so much success. And that is a skill that you can improve if you're not that good at it naturally, but you're not gonna do that if you're just looking at people who are good at it and getting mad and salty. I would suggest instead to really look at how they engage with people and see if you can learn something. And lastly, I just want to point out that if someone is successful for seemingly no reason and you just can't wrap your head around why they have so many followers, chances are you just don't know the whole story. You don't know how long someone's been making art, how long they've been marketing themselves, how long they've been, putting themselves out there, how often they've been posting, what kind of opportunities they've had, what fandoms have lifted them up, what people they've lifted up, who've returned the favor. There's so many things that can factor into success in social media. You can guess all you want, but you'll never get the full picture. You can try to pull one random idea out of thin air and be like, that must be it, but really, that's not how it works for anybody. And look, I'm not saying that if you've ever thought to yourself, well, I don't know why this artist is so popular and I'm more skilled than they are, and why aren't I more popular, that you're like a monster or a terrible person. I think we've all kind of gone down that rabbit hole and, you know, had some sort of negative thoughts before. I think there's a huge difference between like scrolling through Instagram by yourself and thinking something kind of nasty than like publicly shaming and bullying someone. Those are different things. But in either case, I think you have to realize that while you're judging them and judging their skills and wishing that you were more successful and not understanding why and it's not fair, they're out there making their art and doing their thing, and they're not worried about it. They're busy growing. They're growing their art skills, they're growing their marketing skills, they're growing their audience, they're growing as human beings. And every minute that you spend in that headspace, you're not doing any of that. People who are successful tend to surround themselves with other people who are successful and hardworking and like-minded and uplifting, and that's what helps drive them. And the longer that you are stuck in that headspace about it's not fair and you're worried about everybody else, you're not doing that. You're not succeeding. You're not growing. And I'm not saying that everybody who tries hard will succeed, and I'm not saying that everybody who is successful must be some salty jerk. I'm just saying that anybody who gets hung up on this stuff, though, is getting in their own way, and that is only going to slow you down. Anyway, full disclosure, this topic gives me a lot of anxiety because I know I'm not an amazing artist. I'm not someone who's just constantly grinding away at improving my skills and being the best. And I do value improving my technical skills and learning, but that's not the only thing I value. I value building a community that's really encouraging and open to everybody. I value experimenting and not being afraid to fail. I value making people laugh and goofing off and, you know, making art that's just kind of silly. I value having fun. I value connecting with people through, you know, the emotional aspect of my work. And I actually have a marketing background, and I really enjoy tracking my social media growth and reading reports and reading case studies and, you know, tracking all of my numbers and data. I think that stuff's really fun and interesting, and not everybody does, and I totally get that. And finally, I value my personal life and my free time and things outside of art. So as my social media presence grows, I do suspect that I will get my fair share of, well, why does Jacey have so many followers? I don't think Jacey's that good of an artist. And you know what? Fair. But what's not fair is to pretend that it happens overnight for people who've spent years building an audience and a community. And I'll be honest, I've done it where I thought, geez, why is this artist so popular? Why does everybody like their work? I don't really get it. And honestly, that's my insecurity showing. And that's not something I've really done for a few years, but there was a time when I was really stuck in that space of like, you know, being jealous and insecure, you know, and it didn't do me any favors in terms of getting better. But I think the more constructive thing to do would be to look at other people's success and apply it to yourself and think, okay, well, what can I be doing differently? Maybe I'm not engaging with my audience enough. Maybe I'm not posting that consistently. Maybe I'm not really telling my story. Maybe there are things that I can do to do a better job of putting myself out there because clearly this person is good at it. What can I learn from them? I think that's going to get you a lot further than just sitting around being salty about it. And the reality is maybe your artwork needs improvement too. Maybe you're not as good as you think you are. Maybe you're not drawing things that people really connect with, or there's always room to improve. And so to put anyone else down, it's kind of ridiculous because we can all grow. We can all do better. And just because someone has success, that doesn't mean that they're not acknowledging that they need to get better too. Anyway, I hope that this video is helpful and provides some insight to anybody who's in that really negative headspace and, you know, you find yourself in that trap of comparing yourself to other people or feeling like, you know, it's not fair. Just don't worry about them so much. Worry about you and you will feel a lot better. And to anybody who's had anyone make them feel bad about their success, just realize that it has nothing to do with you. It's not personal. They're in a bad place, they're insecure, and just keep doing what you're doing because you're awesome. Anyway, I'm gonna ask that in the comments we don't call people out or name names or have any kind of a witch hunt kind of thing. I want to keep this video positive, so instead I would ask that everybody leave a comment about something that they're really proud of about their own artwork. I think that would be a nice note to end on. So I will start by saying that I'm really excited about how much I've grown with traditional art. I think it's really fun to experiment, and even though I was kind of scared to dive into it and it felt risky, I'm enjoying it a lot and I'm learning a lot and I'm glad I'm doing it. So let me know in the comments what you're proudest of about your own artwork. Anyway, that's it for me. I'm Jacey Chase. Until next time, chase your dreams. Thank you so much for watching this video. If you're new to the channel, please subscribe for tutorials, art discussions like this one, LGBTQ videos, and clips of my dog Riley, which is the real reason to subscribe. Also, if you're interested in supporting this channel, I'm doing the Patreon thing. You can get early access to videos, your name in the credits, coloring page downloads like the one shown in this video, and more.